who has never heard of Scrum?
It's very important because we're going to use this in our project that we're going to do. So it's important to know this stuff.
Okay. There's also there are two types, there are more types of project management methods, but we are going to talk briefly about the traditional product development method, the waterfall method. Who has ever heard of it? And we're going to talk about Scrum. Can someone tell us something about the waterfall method?
From scratch and to final product.
Step by step. It's, the phases within the waterfall method are separate phases. And can someone tell us something about Scrum? The waterfall method looks like this. First you do some analysis, requirements analysis, and when you completed that, you will design a product. After you design a product, you're going to code, test, and then the product will go live.
Some of the features of the waterfall. You have roles, you have a product leader, product team, and stakeholders. One for the product. Yeah, so the moment of feedback from the customer is at the end of the product. So when you think the product is ready, you go to the customer and say, well, here you go, here's your product. I'm done right. But most of the times, when the customer sees the end product, there's always something he wants different. Like small features he misses or he wants changed. So you have the whole process, you have to do it again. And
it's not efficient.
It's not very efficient. So yeah, this. So the requirements often change during the project, and there are no moments of feedback during the waterfall.
Because there are separate phases within the waterfall model, there is no time for feedback, and a project usually lasts for a longer time. For example, 1 year. And after 1 year, when the product is ready, you go to the client, and the client maybe said, but that's not how I want it. And then the project is finished already, so then you have a problem. And because requirements, they change very fast, you may know, especially within the IT sector, so therefore there's a Scrum method. And this is a little...
This is like what you see most is a very popular picture. What you see here is how the client describes his product. So he wants a swing at a tree with very cheap and simple. This is how the architect hears it and understands the client. So he sees a chair. How the engineers design it. So it's all kind of poor, but the budget is allowed because there's not most of the times not enough money, so it's very minimalistic. So there's always a different view per person in the project. And what you want is that everybody's on the same line. And that's why we use Scrum.
Scrum is a different way to develop a product. This is a little overview of the Scrum process. In Scrum you have a product backlog. Product backlog, you can compare it to the requirements document. In Scrum, you are doing sprints. A sprint usually takes 2 to 4 weeks, not longer than 4 weeks. And each sprint, the Scrum team, they work with the sprint backlog. And the sprint backlog is a collection of requirements, and in Scrum we call those requirements user stories. And the team works with the sprint backlog. And after 2 to 4 weeks, there is deliverable. And deliverable is an increment of the end product. And within one project, you do multiple sprints. So this are some important processes within the Scrum process.
So what the client does, he gives his requirements of what he wants as a product. He puts it all in the product backlog, just a big list with everything he wants in the product. For each sprint, you take the most important things from the sprint backlog, from the product backlog, and you just take a few of them and you make them in one sprint, in one iteration. The iteration takes about 2 to 4 weeks, and then there's a review. So if there's something he doesn't like or he wants to change, he can do it in the next sprint. So instead of with the waterfall, you do the whole project like in a year, and then you show it, and he gives feedback, and he can now give feedback every 2 to 4 weeks. So it's very adaptable, and he will get the product he really wants.
These are some roles in Scrum. In Scrum you have 3 major roles. It's the product owner. The product owner is a representative of the client, and he provides the backlog. He determines the priority of the backlog items, and he does it together with the Scrum team. You see the dependabilities between the 3 roles. The product owner, he works together with the Scrum team, and the Scrum Master works together with the Scrum, also the Scrum team, but the product owner does not work together with the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master may sound like a traditional project manager, but this is definitely something else. The Scrum Master is responsible for the continuity of the Scrum process, and he jumps in when there are problems. Facilitates the team.
He's just really there to help the team. So for the contact with the client, just to support the team. The team is everything it needs to do its job.
Classical and traditional waterfall model. Project manager, he manages the team. He is responsible for the deadlines, and in Scrum the team itself is responsible for the deadline, and they do everything by themselves. And the Scrum Master only jumps in where there are problems. There are also some other processes within Scrum. The project startup is at the beginning of each sprint. Beginning of the project. And the product owner discusses the end goal of the project together with the team, and also other stakeholders. Everyone is invited from the company, from the client's company, and everyone who is interested.
The requirements will be told there what needs the product to be, and the product backlog will be built here. So a lot of input from the meeting will be called the product backlog.
The sprint planning is made at the start of each sprint, and during the sprint planning, backlog items are placed on product backlog items are placed on the sprint planning. So that's here at the beginning. Items from the requirements list or the product backlog are placed on the sprint backlog. The team and the product owner together, they divide these items, or user stories we call them in Scrum. They divide them in tasks, and we will explain how to divide items in tasks during the workshop later. Every day within a sprint there is a daily meeting, and it never takes longer than 50 minutes. That's maximum length, and everybody can participate, but only the Scrum Master and the team, they talk with each other. And during the daily stand-up, 3 questions are asked to the team from the Scrum Master. What did you do since yesterday? What are you planning to do today? And did you face any problems? And it's important that you only answer these questions and don't start any discussion. But if there are problems, the Scrum Master will, he or she will solve the problems, but not during the daily stand-up, but after that. So
daily stand-up is for information only. Just what did you do yesterday? What did you do? What are you going to do today? Any problems? And that's just it. So everybody knows what everybody's just doing. You can continue with your work. If there are any problems, the Scrum Master will solve those problems and talk with people if necessary. Just to keep everybody updated with what everybody's doing and if there are some bottlenecks.
And after the daily stand-up, the rest of the team, Well, no, members that have no problems, they can go back to work, and the rest can solve the problem. That's it's more efficient.
So when the sprint is done, so 2 to 4 weeks, you work on your sprint backlog. You have a review, so that's with the stakeholder and the product owner. They can get feedback. So if there's something wrong or they want something else, they can tell it right there at that moment. When that's done, you have the retrospective. That's just for the team, so it's only the team, the Scrum Master. And they will discuss with each other how did the sprint go. And they will ask each other questions like what can we do better the next sprint, were there any problems, what went well, also very important.
In Scrum, you will work with the definition of done. Definition of done specifies when a task is done. How to specify that, you can discuss that with your Scrum team. And when the definition is done.
So when you have a task for your backlog, when you're working on it, it's done when it meets the criteria of the definition of done. And you make it criteria with your team. So there should be like, it should be finished, it should be tested, it should be maybe the code reviewers should have seen it. And when then it all meets criteria, you can really say it's done, and the task is completed.
At the beginning of each sprint, all the tasks are here on this side, the do side. And when a member starts with a task, he picks paper and hangs it under this doing sign, and he writes his name on it. So everyone knows that that team member is working on a specific task. And when it's done, you hang it on the right side. So if everything is on the right side, the sprint is done.
These Scrum boards, or Kanban boards as they call, you guys will be using a lot. After the presentation, someone else will, Nick and Sophia will give you a demo of Trello. And Trello is an online software that is a Scrum board. So you can make the lanes like to do, doing, testing, reviewing, and done. They will explain you everything, set you up with an account. So we will show you that. So burnout chart. This is to see how well you are doing your task, like time efficiency. What you see in the left is the remaining effort hours. So how long are you busy with all the tasks in a sprint? So it's like 400 hours. And the sprint date is here, so it's like, it should be like 2 weeks or something. You have an ideal line to burn your tasks. It's almost never like that. So every time you burn a story or a task, it goes down and you can see how efficient you are working.
If you are above the red line, you are walking behind the schedule. And if you are under the line, you are in front of schedule.
It doesn't really matter if you're above the line, as long as at the end of the sprint you're at the end point. That's all fine. Because sometimes it takes longer to do a task, so maybe you're just finishing in the last week with your task and then you can burn it. Because you can only burn a task if it meets the definition of done.
Why Scrum? Requirements change fast, especially in IT. So Scrum allows you to change requirements on the product backlog. Therefore, it's possible to change requirement in the product backlog, and the requirements in the sprint backlog can never be changed. So it's important because requirements change very fast to use a method that can handle it. And in the traditional waterfall method, it's not possible because it's only at the end of the project when the client let you know what he finds of the product, and maybe it's too late.
Most of the times you will see the client doesn't know what he wants, so he will say something, and then when you make it he will say, no, I didn't really want this, so he wants to change. And with Scrum you can really adapt very easily and change it later during the whole project, not just at the end like with the waterfall. It will save you a lot of time and
Goals of Scrum: create an environment that can adapt to the client's expectations, and create an environment that is agile in requirements. And after each, you start with the first sprint, of course. And after the first sprint, you have a shippable product, as we said, and it's important. So at each sprint, you add something to the previous sprint.
When you finish your sprint backlog, you take new items from the product backlog, so the whole list, for the new sprint. And the goal is for every sprint to have MVP, a minimal viable product, so it's shippable to the client, so it's sellable. So, like with the car, when you build a car and you only make the doors, you can't sell it as a car. If you make like the ground and the wheels, maybe a steer and the engine, it's not finished, but it could drive, so it is sellable. So that's our the priority what you have to do.
So it's important to know when we do the little workshop later, it will become more clear, and it's important to know that at the end of each sprint we need a shippable product, a usable product. That was it. Thank you.
Because it's quite a lot, I think,
Yeah.
and maybe a bit unclear. So if you have questions, if you don't want to do it now, you can always come to, I think most Dutch students know it, so just ask us.
Yeah.
Wait, pause down. I am the PO, the product owner of this project. What I want is a farm, a farm, a farmer, and I want chickens. You know chickens? So as a farmer, I want my house close to the farm, so I can see my chickens. And the chickens need to be safe, so I need a big fence. I want windows in my house so I can watch the chicken.
Alright.
First question, okay? We're going to start now.
And the devil keep jumping me. Arrows on me, keep me company. Hey, we did the most. Yeah, pull up and goes. Yeah, my diamonds a choker. Holding up, I with no holster. With the ruler, diamond cooler. This a roller, not a mule. Dabbing on them like the usual. Magic with the brick do voodoo. Courtside with a bad bitch. And I send the bitch through Uber. I'm young and rich and plus I'm bougie. I'm not stupid, so I keep the Uzi. It's on records, got packets on packets for my money, making my back. Ay. You niggas got a low act rate. We from the north, yeah, that way. That cookie blunt in the ashtray. Who bitches this national smash train? Hop in the left, have a drag race. I let them birds take a bath bag. Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot.